Okay, so had a little bit of a technical issue there, but hopefully we are good to go. We're gonna do the compilation live broadcast yet again because, as some of you may know, I got a new computer and I haven't got it all set up with the video stuff that I need. So we're gonna do it this way yet again. Hope that's not too much of a disappointment. How's it going, John Gamer? Glitched Enderman, BedrockMiner, CJ Byers, Vinny Gamer, Kebster Giggles, Dr. Cox, Steven MV Guy. We got circles, man. Candy pants. All right, we're gonna hop right into it. I don't want to, if we're gonna have the video going up later, I don't want everybody sitting there waiting. So we're just gonna go and get started, and you can check the description. Everybody who submitted that made it into the compilation is gonna be in the description, all their names. As per usual, I will try to read them off before we show their submission. But yeah, we're gonna do that way for now. How's it going, Nukem and Zovo and Mindlocks? Everybody, Armin, Haruka, something like that. Silver Nintendo. Ben does the Dankest Beebs. Can you start making intros, please? I don't know. I'm not that big on the intros. LS Megabit, how's it going? Chris W. A lot of people joining and saying hello, which is a welcome thing. Okay, so been long enough. We're gonna go ahead and get started here and show off these submissions. The first one is by the notorious. If any of you have seen the Minecraft Let's Play live streams, he's very what would you call it? Punny. Anyway, we're gonna see how it goes. I don't know if I'm gonna be reviewing them after each submission or not, like we did before, but we're just gonna start watching them and see what we can do. Hopefully, this won't be too much of a bumpy ride. And here we go. First one is by Mineshaft Animation. All right, so there we go. That was the first one. Pretty interesting concept. You'll actually see in some of these the whole like Minecraft has been updated with circles thing is kind of a common theme that a lot of people went with. So yeah, that was pretty interesting, pretty decent. Use the first person view there. Gamers on videos. I swear to God, you don't make vids anymore. Don't you just streams? Do you know how to grammar? Yeah, I've been wanting to stream for a long time, but I never had internet to do it, so we're gonna try it. I was gonna do this one as a video, but apparently you weren't here in the beginning to hear the explanation, so that's too bad for you. All right, the next one is by SwiftSwordYT, and this is their submission. Blew his arm off, man. That's what circles are good for. And the evil circle shows back up in the end. So not a lot, to that one. Pretty basic animation, but one thing I would recommend is being careful about the timing. Like the moment it blows up, there's a lot of like dead air there before you get to the actual result. Another thing to mention, not about the submissions, but about this. Sorry, there's no like background music or anything to make certain things less awkward. Certain submissions have audio, certain ones don't. So since it's a live stream, we're gonna just ride it out basically. The Silver Nintendo, these are submissions to the compilation, so yeah. Hey Cynic, you said circle, not sphere. Well, a circle is a sphere. In Minecraft terms anyway. How's it going, Dominique Blanks? Alright, the next one is by the EndermansBro, or EndermansBro. I think that's how he spells it. So here we go. That's a lot of grass blocks. So yeah, that's actually another kind of common theme you'll see in some of these, where you find uh the circle or the sphere in Minecraft, and then your head explodes. That's kind of those things where a lot of people went with that, like you don't know how to respond to seeing it in Minecraft. Let's see. Obviously, like if any of you guys remember from the first time we did this live stream version, if you dang old have opinions or reviews on the submissions as we go through them, feel free to announce them in the stream, and I will try to read them if I have time. Gamers on videos, okay, I'm going to correct you now. A circle is a 2D round object. A sphere is a 3D round object. I said in terms of Minecraft. Did you not understand that part? How is a sphere a circle? That was a nice animation. The triggered part was amazing. Get it? You got a haircut, yeah. Like last week. Alright, the next one is by Ben Does the Dankest Babes. This is his submission. Alright, so I like the use of that one. It's a pretty simple one, basic and whatnot, but he used the rig. Had kind of some nice lighting and quality there. Pretty cool. Is it too late to submit a video about circles? Yes. We have gotten all the submissions in. If you want to submit, you're going to have to wait for the next theme, which will be announced at the end of this and or in the description. Who agrees someone should have made a dancing pineapple? Sounds pretty good. Zainmations, how's it going? Dominique says it was basic but good. Silver Nintendo wants to know if the rig was by Skibs. I wouldn't personally know, but Ben may chime in at some point if he's here, or in the comments after this is uploaded. Creeper Army 1 submission. Alright. Obviously, that's kind of a spastic basic animation there. It technically qualified for the theme, and I did like the sort of sphere versus cube thing that was taking place there. If you could kind of iron out the animation aspects and do something in that regard, that actually might be kind of an interesting idea there. But definitely want to kind of smooth out some of the movements, especially the camera movements, like things like swinging around and whatnot on screen can be kind of, jarring or whatever, but especially if the camera is doing that kind of stuff. So just definitely need to practice more and iron out those little details. All right, the next one is by Meysonne. Hopefully I'm not mispronouncing that, but this is what they submitted. And another one of the I saw a sphere or circle in Minecraft and I spazzed out kind of submission. I don't think this guy has a negativity in his body. Any negativity in his body. I don't know if that is positive or negative, but just I have plenty of negativity. You just don't see it. I keep it hidden. Guys, if you want to know what your submission is, check the description. Yep, they're in order of appearance. Be honest, did you take the theme from the Mama's Boy animation? What? What is that? Alright, next submission is by Alfadog. This is another one of the update ones. I don't know why it spontaneously combusted at the end there. But that was actually kind of a funny one. I like the idea of it kind of being on a shrine or something of some sort, and he finds it like it's some significant artifact. Did I make it? I want to know. Like, check the description, man. Like, I listed everyone who submitted in there. I'm pretty sure you're in there. Next theme, fidget spinner. Uh-oh. That may or may not be the case. Stick around to the end to find out more. I made the rig myself. All right, cool. That one has pretty good transitions. Maybe a bit off, but I like it. How's it going, Thaddeus? All right, next submission is by MCPEKen Gaming. I guess that's Minecraft Pocket Edition. Nice use of particle effects. And it already moved on to the next one. Sorry about that. So that one's kind of interesting. I like the idea of using the command block, and that should answer anyone's questions as to the circle versus sphere argument. When you put the circle command in the command block, it comes out as a sphere. It's Minecraft logic. Don't question it. All right. That was a clear example of it. So calm down. This one is by Harry the Animator, and animator is spelled with a 1 instead of an I. So this is their submission. It's a trap, man. And yet another like documentary of circles or spheres in Minecraft. You definitely go to get the error. You definitely go to get the blue screen because it's not supposed to happen. Except if someone gives you $1 million if you make a Minecraft series, would you do it or not? But the series has to be great. Yeah, you'd have to be more specific there, man. So if I make an animation with a command block with /summon sphere, it's a sphere? No, that would be a circle. How's it going, Twister? How's it going, Mini Plays Minecraft? All right, next submission is by MiniArtZ. I'm gonna go and play that one. Brutal! It shrunk his head, man. I don't know what happened there, but I actually liked it. The lighting was pretty decent. There was a fair use of the bloom effect. As you can see, not too terribly overblown. And even though it is like a flatland kind of animation setting there, it's not too hard on the eyes, basically. So, pretty interesting outcome there with the small headness. Mineshaft Animation, you missed your submission, man. It was in the beginning. Alright, so next one up, we're going to go with Creeperz Animations. This is a short one, so pay attention. Another troll, man. And that was another one, as you can see, is kind of like a little bit of the update theme mixed with the achievement get thing or whatever. But I kind of like the way this one was done. Pretty simple, like basic setting there or whatever, but fairly decent quality for the simple nature of what was happening there. That's right, Che3zy Playz, another live stream, man. How's it going, Abdullah? Abdullah. I don't know why. I always have to say it twice. I'm just watching for the Indiana Jones animation. There's a little bit of inspiration from something like that in some of these. All right, next one is by Bean Dream. And there you go. yet another one of those like kind of basic scenes. I've seen, I think him and HeYoNiA or whatever, a few people have done these kind of like empty void sort of scenes or whatever, but the animation quality is actually not that bad. So pretty interesting concept of coming out of a chest and seeing a sphere and hiding away. Anxious, do you like anime series or you don't look any series? Anime, like actual anime, I'm not that into anime. If that's what you're asking. Twister's gonna make an animation for the next theme. That's cool. How's it going, John Gamer? How about story mode? What do you mean? Next submission is by TDpizza. He's a pretty common submitter for the compilation. That's one of my favorite parts right there, I have to say, to be completely honest, is that right there. The little running sphere. That's awesome. That should definitely be a character and something. I think it was 3 different concepts. You have the one that's like all wavy and weird. Then there's like a regular one. They all explode, and then suddenly it becomes something that's like chasing them. Such an odd one. But I like it. Alright, so the next one is gonna be by the LuigiNoidPerson 109. I don't know what the Noid part is about, but anyway. Here it is. Happens upon a sphere, man. And somehow it becomes Shrek. That was an interesting one. Odd concept. Alright, next one. This one's kind of short. Some of these are a little shorter than I normally would accept, but since we're doing the live stream version, it's not as problematic to show them, I guess. But anyway, this one's by, I don't know how you pronounce the name, LuanChoi? Something like that. That's what I'm going to go with. Hopefully I didn't butcher it too bad. But this is their submission. So I guess it's kind of like a concept of rain. You get hit by one and then you look up and then here comes the flood of spheres. How's it going? How do you say it? Wiley Tim? Wiley Tim? Do you think Shrek is a meme? I have no idea. I think it could be, I guess. Could you make after this theme what it feels like to get a GTX 1080? I wouldn't know what that feels like, so I wouldn't be able to judge it. How's it going, Ziviso? Ziviso? How's it going, Zero Diamond? Alright, next one is by Fairs24. Gotta love the big eyes. I had to say, it's very simple, but I do like the way the physics are done here when it rolls over them. I don't know why. That's just very satisfying the way it plays out. You guys agree with that? Something about the way it hits him and he kind of conforms to it and just rolls over him. Something about it. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Alright, next one up. This one actually has sound, but due to the sounds that was used, it has to be muted, so it's going to be another awkward silent one, unfortunately, but that's the way some of them are going to be. This one is by Winnythailand. Hopefully I pronounced that part right. And this is their submission. Another crushed by a sphere. I like the attempt there to mine it to save them. Like, that was a nice little twist on it instead of it just crushing them. And then it's like, oh, there's the joke. He tries to mine it to rescue him there. So it's like a little thing, all right? It's not that big of a deal, but it's just those added little touches that can kind of like take something from, you know, mediocre level to elevating it just a bit. So that's always something good to keep in mind. Those added little things that kind of change up the direction of things and how they're going. You know, just one of those things to keep in mind for your future works. Next one is by, I don't know if he's still here, he was in the chat earlier, it's Che3zy Playz. I'm gonna play their submission. Zaviso, don't spam, man. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Alright, here's Che3zy Playz. His head became a sphere. I like how it bounces and falls off there. You see that? Pans over, he hit the wall, and it bounces off. And it's not on his head anymore. Again, another one of those little things, just like an add little touch. You know, he could have just had it stay on his head and falls over, and it's like, oh, he couldn't see. He fell over. His head is a sphere now, but it actually comes off afterwards. That makes his life meaningless. All right? That is what I got from that. All right. Why is your voice so satisfying? I don't know. You must be in some kind of delusion. Anxious, can I have constructive criticism on mine? If I have something to say about it, I certainly will. Yours is actually coming up. Next one, though, is by Che3zy Playz, and Che3zy is spelled with a 3 in it instead of just 2 E's. Because, you know, you gotta be unique and stuff. So, this is their submission. Power balls, man. He's using the power balls to defeat the skeleton. All right, hang on. Let's go back to that 1 second. There's a couple of things I wanted to mention here. One thing is, right here, I don't know if this was intentional, but this is one of those things, if you look at my recent little clip of the alpha glitch / render depth feature, if you can't see the skeleton through it, maybe you want it to be that way. If you didn't, then you need to adjust the render depth so that you can see through that object and it doesn't just block things out. Don't know what you were going for, but if that were the case. And another thing here, now a lot of people may know this, but for those of you who may not, if you look at this, the red sphere, see how it's going around and it's kind of like blocky? It looks as though you animated it, you know, yourself to try and go in a circle, which is fine. You can do that, but one way to make that easier is to parent that sphere to a folder or something, or maybe even parent it to the sphere that's got Steve like encapsulated, and then when you parent it, you pull it out to the distance that you want it to be, and then you rotate either the folder that you parent it to, or you could rotate that sphere or whatever, and it will go like perfectly in a circle because it's just attached to the other one, and you won't have to sit there and try to finagle some kind of circular motion with the one that you want to be spinning. So, yeah, you could definitely do it that way, and that would make the animation a lot easier, and you'll get a lot better quality out of it. Are you making a separate video to upload this? Plus, will it be with your face cam and chat? Yeah, like what you see here will hopefully be the compilation that goes up. So that's why I'm trying to like keep it moving and keep going through them, because I don't want to, you know, make it too delayed for the people who are just wanting to watch the submissions. All right. Next one up is Zainmations, but it is muted because of the sounds used, unfortunately. So just keep that in mind. Apologies. Also, with this one, the little Minimator logo there, watch my 5 tips for Minimator video to learn how to get rid of that. You just got to register it and then go into your settings and turn off the watermark. But I go over it a little bit more in depth in that video. Anyway, Zainmations is up next. Dreaming of circles, man. All right. So another simple concept there. He's just basically sitting there pondering on things and wondering about things, and obviously comes up with the right idea, but then I guess the idea comes to life and then becomes a little bit too much to handle or something there, if that's what you were going for there. Vinny, how do you say it? Cecere? Cecere? Yes, I remember. Your submission is in this compilation. It's actually coming up soon. Can you add Sony Vegas tutorial? I've downloaded it and I can't know how to use it. I might. I use Sony Vegas. What is it called? Movie Studio. It's not like the pro version, but some of the principles may still apply. I will consider it. No problem. This submission, like, there was nothing wrong with it. The animation quality, there's not a whole lot there to really judge, to be honest. The main critique I would have of this is just as far as the submission goes, not necessarily as an animation itself, is the part that comes up, like where he's running from the circle, is almost like more or less you would say like tacked on to the end, and it doesn't really have much resolution to like why it's happening or what's happening. It's just like one single shot and then it's over. So it's like I was saying about the other ones, like where the sphere falls on the other characters and then he tries to mine it. Then you can do that kind of stuff, like some little added touch that kind of just brings some resolution to what's happening and gives some motivations to the characters. It doesn't take a whole lot of more work or extra effort in animation or whatever. It's just that little thing that happens that fleshes out the overall like plot, if you want to call it. I know it's a short animation, but you know, there's a lot you can do if you just throw in those little touches, that's all. All right. Let's see here. Next one up is by how do you say your name, man? SoePe? SOEPE. This is his submission. Oh, hang on. Whoops, had it muted. Here we go, let's start it over. Alright, so that was a pretty interesting one. Like at first, you know, you may be trying to rationalize why is there leaves in space, why is there a grass block in space, what's happening, but then it turns out to be a dream. Of course, pretty cool concept there, and I like the way it was done and animated. I thought that one was a pretty unique and creative one, so I quite enjoyed it. So yeah, pretty good work on that one. Next one up is by, like, I don't know if I pronounced your name right. Is it, how do you say it? Che3zy? I don't even know. Like, I appreciate the attempt at telling me how to do it, but I'm too dumb. So, Vinny, you know who you are. This is his submission. I like the little tilt there. It's like, huh? And another exploding sphere. It was a little, like, honestly, when I first saw this one, I thought it was like one of those little, what do you call them? Those little cup games where they shuffle it around and there's like one of them has the thing under it. But anyway, I guess he's just selling spheres and then they buy it and then realize that it actually is an exploding sphere. Boom! Alright. So, not too bad on that one. Kind of an interesting concept of selling spheres in Minecraft. Maybe it's the black market doing some illegal stuff. Thank you, No Animation. Wait, no one think on ice cream? What's going on with the chat here, man? Who's talking about ice cream? Vortex, you wasn't able to render it on time? That's no problem. Always next time, right? No problem, Vinny. Alright, next one up is by Roblox Gaming / Tutorials. This is their submission here. Right. That was the end of that one. That's another one of those things, like, you know, the whole animation was about circles or spheres or whatever, but they don't really visually represent until the very end there. It's like literally half a second or something where you actually see that. Not that big of a deal since the overall theme was about circles or whatever, but most of the things that occurred in that were very fast. Like the timing needs to be better in order to illustrate what's going on and give like some sense to the scenes, basically. And you may also want to use instant keyframe transitions for your camera because it like jolting from one position to the next and the viewer being able to see that is typically not very desirable unless it's very specifically being used for a reason. So yeah, use instant keyframe transitions when you're going to take the camera from one spot to another, and that way it'll just cut, and it'll definitely up the production value of your animations. All right. Next one up here is by Valver, who was, I think, in the chat earlier. I don't know if he's still here, if he was. But anyway, this is Valver's submission. Where'd it go? Oh, man, it got rolled over. See, that's what happens when you play on the Pac-Man world in Minecraft. And of course it bounces. Now I left this sound in because it's like such an odd sound, and it could be an edited Minecraft sound. Maybe not, probably not, I'm not sure. But yeah, again, that's something that if it would have been in the like a video form, I would have had it muted. But anyway, that was a pretty interesting one. I like the idea of kind of, like I said, Pac-Man, like where it goes on one side of the screen and then eventually comes out the other. The character's kind of like, what? And then gets ran over by the evil sphere. That's something that a lot of people seem to be doing. Spheres are evil. Like, spheres are not something good. If you find a sphere or a circle of some kind in Minecraft, you probably shouldn't mess with it, apparently. That seems to be the main takeaway here. Anxious, how do you make the right spinner rig? What do you mean? There is going to be a rig provided in the description, guys. Like, if you can make your own, or if you can make one better than that one, because that one was really quickly thrown together. We'll get to that at the end of this, but yeah, just note that since that's what you guys are talking about. All right, we'll get to that, Zane, at the end of this. We're halfway through, so we'll keep shrugging on. Burped. Luigi Burger 23 submission. I like the big eyes there. And finally, a sphere in a circle that does some good for the player. He actually is able to use it to vanquish the zombie, man. That's what you want to do. All these people get blown up and rolled over and stuff. It's like you needed to do something good at some point. Jeez. So that was a pretty funny one. I like the way it hits the zombie and just like knocks his head off and then becomes a very gory mess. So that was cool. All right, see you later, Vinny. Okay. Next one up is by TheBedrockMiner, CJ Myers, the one and only. All right, so we're going to go ahead and play his submission. That poor bat. I like that one a lot. I like how, like, when it hits them, they just flatten out. That poor bat just gets just utterly destroyed. I want to see it again. Hang on. I hope he just gets flattened out, man, and then the head. It's great. I really enjoyed the concept of that one, how they all flatten out when it hits them. Pretty funny little, like, simple thing there. Zaviso, I've seen you post that for quite a bit. Like, it's been seen, so maybe not anymore. All right. So the next one is another one that I'm probably going to destroy the name of. Quan, or is it Juan? I don't know. I'm going to say Quan because it's Q-U-A-N. And the A has one of those little things on it. I don't know what that means as far as how it's supposed to be pronounced, but it's Quân Hollywood. This one, I'm going to leave it at that. You can check the description for the full, like, the actual way it's supposed to be. And we'll go from there. How's it going, PC Gamer? Thank you, Skeletron Prime. How's it going, Butter Rampage? Bolted Joint. James. I don't know why that came out like that. Let's see. I probably won't even hear it bolted. All right. Vloggy Yule. How's it going? All right, here we go. The next one is by, like, I'm going to say it again to embarrass myself. Quân Hollywood. This is their submission. And it's also been muted because of the sounds that it had. Just note that. All right, so that was kind of interesting, a really dark theme there, which is pretty cool to see. Obviously, the animation there is kind of rudimentary. All that comes in time. Just keep practicing and whatnot. I like the idea of bringing in the spheres, like this tool that he uses to vanquish his enemy, but I guess it also kills himself or something? Or did it just show up of its own accord? I'm not really sure. It looked like something he summoned to kill the enemy, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Could use a little more body motion, says Vinny Gamer. How's it going, LBOE? Mighty Mason. All right, next one up is by another one that I'm going to have a hard time pronouncing. hezenii. hezenii? Anyway, this is their submission. After I get that. All right, here we go. Now, this one looks like it was done in Blender, which is pretty cool. Maybe Cinema 4D, I don't know, but could be Blender. And that was it. He just finds the circle there, or the sphere. Nice big reaction. His leg like stretches over. Kind of an odd animation there, but pretty cool. Pretty interesting to see, you know, someone using something else other than Minimator again. Not much to say about that one. Pretty simple. And the next one is going to be by KoolKid Games. Spelled with K's. KoolKid Games. Here we go. Alright, another evil sphere one gets smacked in the back of the head, and then it goes into like bullet time where his whole life is flashing before his eyes, I guess. Please do a tutorial how to get like people having effects when they get touched, you know what I mean? It really, like, effects is a very broad term. You'd have to be more specific there. Looks so Blender. Yeah. Wait, you can do different studios? Craze? Yeah, you like, since I did Blender tutorials, we've opened up the compilation particularly to Blender, but you know, so far it's a case-by-case basis. If you make it with some other program, then you may also be accepted. Anxious, have you ever had stream problems? I got them. I can't stream it. It keeps saying your video quality is weak, and it's not. There's so many different things. It could be the internet or how, like, if you're using OBS or whatever. So it really depends. Like, it would, you know, it has to be kind of, it's a specific thing, you know? You need more information to really troubleshoot things like that. All right, next one is by Duncan Gustina or Gustina, something like that. This is their submission. Now, if we've learned anything so far, you should not approach a sphere if it appears in your world. But he's doing it. Now, this one I like the concept of, because it's another one of those with that little touch at the end. Like, it could have been easily like, he touches it, it goes, like, he used the bedrock as like a way to simulate noise within Minimator, which was kind of cool and creative, I thought. And then, like, it just comes back and he is made out of spheres. I thought that was a pretty cool and, like, unique little touch. I think Mineshaft is saying GG on that one. I really like that one. That was a pretty creative use of the whole, like, circle sphere concept. Legend MC, no, I am not. Legend MC says that was actually good. Animates MC, what is this? This is the compilation, man. It became a sphere. Steve did. Minecraft's Twilight Sparkle does. Welcome back to the stream, by the way. That's the best in my opinion so far. Cool. They liked it. Alright, so the next one up is by Carrot and Squidkid Show Gaming. It's quite the mouthful of a name, but kind of like the TheBedrockMiner CJ Myers. Alright, here we go. This is their submission. Carrot and Squidkid Show Gaming. There we go. All right, that was pretty interesting. Let me bring that back up real quick. Something about my favorite part about this one. I know the theme is circles or whatever, but right there. Oh, I can't pause it in time. Oh, He turns too fast. That face. That's probably the best part about it. And then he goes and tries to hide behind the anvils and stuff and gets pooped on. Pretty good stuff. I like how he did the slight bounce on the sphere there. Not too bad. And then it kind of has a minds of its own where it's sitting there like amping up to go get him. And then he actually attached it to him. So like it's rolling around the sphere. That's a pretty nice touch there. Major Funky said, "Hey, I just want to say you have helped me a lot out on animating. And what is your next compilation or video submission? The next compilation will be announced at the end and/or is in the description." Commentators watching the show, yeah. My tip is, Legend MC says, my tip is don't use flatlands for animations. Yeah, for the compilation, like, it's, you only have a week. That doesn't mean that you can't use scenery, but I understand that people are just trying to focus on different aspects of it, or you have a lot of, like, new people trying to do it, things like that. So I don't really judge it too much, but adding scenery, adding more, like, depth and whatnot is a definite plus. All right, so the next one is going to be by Budgie. This is, I don't know if we've ever had one from him before, unless it was under a different name, but this is their submission. All right, that was a pretty good one. I liked it. It's like the overall quality there. Again, a simple one, but this is another one of those things where just some like benign scenery. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but it's just a basic scenery. He's just out in like some woods or whatever, and it adds like kind of some depth and some interest to the scene. It's basically just a character sitting around, and then a sphere shows up and he just nopes out of it, which is pretty good and pretty well animated for the most part, I would say. Mighty Mason says, nice quality, I want more. King Zipline said, that's cool. Mineshaft said that was good. All right, everybody likes that one. All right, we're going to mute this one. This is by HeYoNiA. He always adds music to his, so we have to mute it. But this is HeYoNiA, if that's how you pronounce it, their submission. And there you go. He seems to be doing these a lot where it's almost like a little experimental scene, almost like a physics experiment or something. Again, even though this is a really simple scene, the little part where he has Steve walk by as it's rolling back and forth right there, that's another one of those things. Like, this is a really simple scene, and it could easily just be the ball rolling back and forth, but having Steve walk by, it's like, you would think, like, that's nothing. Like, what is that? But it adds a lot. It shows that there's, like, more life to the scene than just the focus of it. So things like that, just adding those little background things, those little things that you would think that doesn't need to be there, usually it helps the quality a lot. So yeah, that was some good physics effects. All right, gonna move on to the next one, which is another name that I have a hard time pronouncing. I'm going to just try to sound it out, which is Anugrah Arya 82. I know that's probably butchered, but this is their submission. Don't flip it, man. He did it. And then he spazzed out. And then it's chasing him. So as you can see, any of you who've been here from the beginning, this is a pretty common theme that we got. And this one is like, you find a sphere, you freak out, and it's gonna like chase you and roll over you or whatever. So it's kind of funny how these tend to have like a trend of certain types of themes that go into a particular theme for the compilation. Mighty Mason is insatiable when it comes to animation, apparently. The Enderman Bros, can someone teach me how to do the eye and mouth features? What do you mean by eye and mouth features? Like a rig? Because I have some tutorials on that. Not the best. Like, you can find better rigs than the ones I showed to make. I'm just showing like the principles of how you can make one. Is there a way to add shaders on Minimator? No, there is not. Like you can try to like do custom lighting, which I do. I have a basic tutorial on, but beyond that, you usually will want to use a visual effects visual video editor or something to add more advanced lighting to your animations with Minimator. Jorgen UA, I can't say that I do, unfortunately. Seems somewhat familiar. I have a playlist, the Enderman Bros. Like you can go to the channel and find the Minimator tutorial playlist. It shouldn't be that difficult to find. The thumbnails are usually pretty descriptive, and the title should tell you. For advanced lighting effects and things like that, I recommend using HitFilm Express. That's a free video editor with a lot of effects abilities and stuff, so it's a good way to do things without paying any money. Animate MC can send it. Can I make one for a compilation too? Anybody can submit. You know, there's no real qualifications, if I could talk. You just gotta follow the theme and the rules. All right, next one up is by Creeper Slayer of Epic. I'm gonna go ahead and play their submission. So this is basically like your typical apocalypse if the apocalypse were spheres appearing in your Minecraft world and trying to consume you and everything else along with it. So yeah, pretty basic animation there. One thing I would suggest as far as critique goes, I like the kind of slow-mo nature of the movement there, but the actual movement is pretty blocky in itself. So I recommend watching the how to do a flip tutorial that I did. It's not 100% perfect, but it gives you an idea of how to try to smooth out those motions with the right amount of care and effort. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Next submission up is Raziq Ru. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. This is their submission. So angry. All right, the all-powerful derp. So that was pretty interesting. I guess that's kind of like a mini game or something that's sort of taking place there, and the derp comes in with the sphere and it's totally OP, right? Another issue of, or another instance of spheres being either something that decimates you or that you use to decimate someone else. I don't know why spheres have so much power, but man, they are not to be messed with. Vloggy, there's an official rules video in the compilation playlist you can go to, and it explains all, or in the description of any compilation video, there's a link to the official rules video. Oh, I just had the idea. I should have done animation for this where someone is blowing bubbles. Oh, that would have been a good use of it. That would have been a good idea. The spirit bomb is a sphere, so why not? Yeah. All right, next one is by 2D Chris. It's a long one. He submitted it to start at a certain time. If this had been put into the like a video compilation, it may have been trimmed down. But since we're doing live, we're just gonna watch the whole thing, and it is muted because of the sounds that were in it. So sorry about that, but it is what it is. Here's where he suggested it started, by the way. It's quite the portal. It's a whole new world, man. Not a good idea to go into a sphere world where your sword becomes a sphere. And that was it. And then his friend was a sphere. He supposedly woke up from the dream, I guess. But then it was all real. Wow, this is Minimator. I didn't think 8 can do this. Good animation, but stretched texture. Yeah, there's little things you can do to help, like in the library, when you have a texture on an object like that, you can adjust it so that it's not stretched as much. You can repeat the texture. So I definitely recommend looking into doing that. But overall, I really like the concept of this one. Dango cool. Having the world become a sphere, like he had to build all that stuff basically, which was pretty cool to see that kind of come to life there. Bolted James did a super chat for $1. You didn't even include a message with it, man. Oh, you should have put the I like pickles with it. I appreciate that. That was interesting. First super chat I've gotten. Much appreciated. I'm from the mean comments or whatever was the comments, and you answered on my comment. Remember that? Probably. There's a number of comments that have come out on that video, so. All right, here we go. We're going to move on to the next one. This one's by Pigman Movie, who is also a pretty common contributor to the compilation, and this is what they submitted. Another one that's muted, unfortunately, because of the sounds used. And again, the sphere destroys everything. I really like the quality of this. Pigman Movie usually has pretty good quality animation and lighting and whatnot in his submissions, so it's always usually really nice to see them and the quality that he presents and whatnot. One thing about this, and this really doesn't have anything to do with the animation itself, is that it's not uploaded in HD. It's not like a rule as long as the quality is decent, but the animation quality or like the overall video quality for the compilation is uploaded at 720p. So it's usually better. Like most people actually do submit in 720p, so I highly recommend rendering your animations at 720p at least, so that way the quality looks good. I don't know if you can tell on this screen, like watching it on YouTube, but when I watch it, I can definitely tell that the quality is not as sharp as it could be. And, if you're going to work on something and make something to spend your time on it, why not render it at a higher quality so that it kind of it can last and not get phased out and whatnot. That's all. But anyway, let's see. Bolted J's donated another $2 and said mustard plus ice equals ew. And I don't know where he's coming from with that. Mustard ice is delicious. I don't really understand why you would dispute that. It's just a well-known fact. So that's all I have to say about that, I guess. Anyway, next one up is by TVGB1234, another common contributor to the compilation, and this is their submission. Major whiff. Boop. All right, that was the end of that one. So I like the concept of that one a lot. He actually took the circle sphere theme and actually made it into something like it's actually like a utility of the animation. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I like the total fail on the whiff there, where it just flies on past the guy. It hits the other one in the head. Pretty funny concept and pretty nicely done, I would say. Creative use of the spheres. Alright, hope it was helpful, Vloggy. Is there a way to make motion blur on Minimator? So can you make a short tutorial on it? That would be done with HitFilm Express from what I've seen. I have not tried it myself yet, but that is the software that a lot of people are using to accomplish that. I don't know exactly how good the results are or anything like that. I haven't looked into it, but I may try to do a tutorial on it at some point. So yeah, keep a lookout for that if you wanna. Table tennis plus Minimator equals world domination. Alright, next one up is Mineshaft Animation channel. This is someone else who has submitted, I think, multiple times in the past, if I'm not mistaken. And this is their submission. New update now, there is explosive red circles. I don't know why. And I think that is a good summarization of this whole compilation. Some reason there's a sphere. Some reason it explodes. And nobody knows why. But at least this one like explains it. It's just like, we don't know. It just happens, man. It's just something that happens. Alright, next one up is gonna be, it's also a muted one because of the sound, but I don't even know if I can pronounce the name. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna try to do it. Uh-oh, stream is gonna be over. Yep, it's coming to a close, man. It's Che3zy Gamer Animation. I probably butchered that, but this is it. This is another one of the short ones. May not have made it into the video version, but since we're doing the stream, it made it in. Oh, Bolton James did another $2. Okay, I need to stop. Remember, I like pickles. I will remember that forever. I'll frame it on the wall, and that'll be like the first thing I read every morning. All right, here we go. Che3zy Gamer Animation. Here we go. All right. Very quick, very rapid pace. The timing actually isn't that off. It is kind of like, it's almost like an anime kind of style of like just fast-paced motion or whatever. But the overall animation quality, for as quick as it is, does look pretty decent. I like the concept and the camera work here with the ball being like out of focus and the camera's like zooming up to try and catch it and stuff like that. So I would really like to see this person do something with a little more length to it and a little more context, because it definitely looks like they have some skills to show. We just need to see what they are, and like need something with some length to it and a little bit of context to really be able to sink your teeth into it. You know what I mean? So that was a pretty good one. I liked it. It was really short though. Again, if you if this person, I'm not going to try to say the name again. If you see this and you try to submit again, highly recommend getting closer to that 10-second minimum, because it does run the risk of not making it if you don't. Thanks, Cynic. I need my money back to buy more pickles. Oh, man. No can do. I'm sorry. Hey, so remember when I was going crazy about giraffes? Never mind. Easter circles. Oh, my God. It's beautiful. I have heard so much about giraffes, I don't even know who's who. All right, next one up is by Mob Bob. We're going to go ahead and play his submission. Alright. I actually like that one a lot. I like how there's like a little storyline there, the dude showing up from the helicopter and everything, like a whole little plot playing out there. I like the little added touches, like the explosion when he opens the little trap door or whatever and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And the main thing I would say, like as far as a critique, the animation is pretty basic and whatnot, but I think it served its purpose for what was happening here and whatnot. So I'm going to keep saying whatnot. I'm going to get in that little trench again. Anyway, the very end, when the thing explodes, I assume that's like supposed to be a representation of the whole base or something. I'm not 100% sure on that. So the ending was a little bit confusing and happens a little bit abruptly to the point where it kind of doesn't make sense, basically. Like, as far as I can understand, it's like the whole facility blowing up from them combining a sphere with an apple, like a golden apple or whatever, and it's just not supposed to happen. You know, the universe isn't prepared to deal with it. So I'm just going to go with that explanation. But yeah, that was the main thing. I liked how everything else kind of played out and was well, you know, kind of linearly played out in a plot. But yeah. Anyway, so the last submission here, we're going to go ahead and get this one going. This is by Zuma Aboz. I don't know if that's how you say it. Check the description for the spelling. But yeah, this is their submission. Don't touch me, big nose. And that was the end of that. That was pretty interesting one. I like these kind of like the table tennis one and whatnot, where the sphere becomes kind of like a utility in the animation, where it's like a witch conjuring something, or the previous one where it's like a scientist team like concocting something or whatever. So that was pretty interesting to see kind of the various ways people chose to introduce the spheres and the circles into the animation. So it was pretty cool, and I like that a lot. And that one actually had pretty decent quality animation. I like how the nose would flap as it was talking and things like that. It's pretty cool. All right, so that is it for the submissions today, unfortunately. But we do have the issue of what the next theme is, and I'm going to try to bring up my software here if I can do it. So just give me 1 second. And I'll see if I can get that up real quick, and we'll show you what we talking's about. Glitch Enderman, I don't have time for that today, unfortunately. After we do this, that's going to be the end of the stream. I'm not sure what my plans are later. I may be back on to play some games or something later this evening. I'm not 100% sure about that, though, so don't hold me to it. All right, let me bring this up and switch this over. There we go. Now we're in Minimator. Is everyone aware? Does everyone see where we are? Fidget spinners are over. Cynic, you late. Yeah, I know. Space theme. Maybe eventually. We got it on the list. All right. Here's this fidget spinner rig. The link is in the description for those who want to participate in this theme. It's not a very good one. It's one that I threw together really quickly just to have something for those who don't have a rig or can't make one or whatever. It's just like a really simple, basic one. And it's pretty much good to go, I think. All you have to do is import it, you know, if you know how to do that. I think I covered that in my 5 tips for Minimator video. If you're not sure how to import rigs, you just click on the link in the description. There's dogs barking. Give them 1 second to calm down. Anyway, so you click on the link in the description. It'll take you to a page, and then there's going to be on like the top right, like a little download arrow. Because if you try to click on anything individually, I'm not sure if it'll work. And if it does, it'll download the individual file, which you don't want. You want to click on the little download arrow. It's going to download a zip folder. And there's going to be 2 versions. One for if you're using community build like I'm using, and one if you're using Minimator like 1.0.6, which is like the default version. And whichever one you're using, then that's the rig that you'll want to import into your Minimator. And it's got the texture files there. If it turns purple or whatever, just go to the library and select the parts and select the appropriate texture file. And then you'll get this, and I have it this color by default, but all you got to do is go to color, blend color, and you can change it to whatever you want. So you can make a white one or purple or whatever you want to do, and just use that for an animation of some sort. It's a pretty crappy rig, but you know, as long as it's spinning or whatever, then you shouldn't have too much trouble with it. Just dang old go crazy, and it spins. Just like that. Or you can turn it sideways, of course, any of those things that you want to do. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. Just, it's a fidget spinner, and you want to use it in your animation somehow. I'm not that into the whole fidget spinner thing, so I'm not going to even try to give you ideas. But I'm sure you guys can be creative and come up with something interesting. That'd be pretty cool. And whatnot. So that's that. That's the rig, and yeah, of course, one thing to note is when you do import it, it will be like this is going to be at the 0 point. So if you were so inclined to parent it to Steve or something, then do so, like to make it easier on yourself, just do so before you move it. Like don't move it or anything, just parent it, and then that way it will be at the 0 marker and it will parent directly to Steve, and then you can take it and position it as needed and stuff. And so that's what you could do, just like that. And he's like holding it or whatever. See? Something like that. And that's it. That's all you got to do. And it should be hopefully good to go and stuff. So there it is. That's the rig, and that's the theme and whatnot. So, a guy who likes stuff is apparently not liking being a polite person in the chat. In the next compilation, can the theme be real life so you could combine a real pic or video with a Minimator animation? That's an interesting idea. I worry that that would become confusing for some people. I'm not really sure. Like, one of the issues that I have when I announce a theme is how difficult it is to enforce it, because some people may be confused by it or may not really know how to implement it as well or whatever. And then I have all these different submissions that I had to reject or whatever, and it's more work for me, and it's you know, it's like disappointing to the people who are trying to submit. So how about making a compilation of the creator versus the animation? That might be a pretty good one. I have to make a note of that one. Assassin Pro, it is pretty easy if you know how to do it, but a lot of the people that submit are usually young kids, and they may not be well versed in that. So, fidget spinner Lamborghini wheel mod, yes, that sounds perfect. Bolted James, I'll consider it. We'll talk about it on Discord at some point. For fidget spinner, could I get a player called Fidget and have him spin? Oh, all these questions. Maybe. Like, you try to have a fidget spinner like actually in the scene somehow, in some way. If you want to focus on doing some weird thing like that, which is totally understandable, and I'm open to the creativity of it, but we definitely want to try and keep it fair to everybody and have things qualify as obviously as possible. Can you extrude the fidget spinner? It kind of needs more depth. The reason I made it thinner is because of the trouble I was having with making it. Like I said, I put it together really quickly, so I wasn't able to iron out some of the issues, like with the edges and stuff. So I kind of just made it as it is. You can try to do so yourself if you like, but this is, like I said, it's not that great of a rig. I'm not really interested in spending a lot of time on it. It's basically just a simple little rig. I think like the scale of it is actually pretty proportional to like the size of the character and the fidget spinner, like it would be in real life. So I don't know. I haven't had one in person, but I've seen them in videos. So I think based on what I've seen, that's close enough. Again, if you can make your own, or if you can find one, I'm sure somebody on the Minimator forum has made one that's probably much better than this. So feel free to do that and not use this one. I just supplied it for those who have no other option. I don't use Minimator, and I'm not good at rigging. How can I do this? Oh, that's kind of a tough one. I don't think, like, what are you using? Are you using Blender or something? Because if you are using Blender or whatever, rigging like a little object like a fidget spinner would be pretty easy, I would think. As far as that goes, there may be already fidget spinner rigs for Blender and stuff on for Blender specifically. There's a website called Blend Swap, which may already have something like that. Gamers on videos, entries need to be submitted through YouTube. Is what helps me to keep track of them and whatnot. Because sometimes it goes like days will go by before I can start collecting them, and when people submit them through other ways, then it's hard for me to keep track of where they are, when I got them, and all that stuff. So, for the most part, I limit it to just YouTube. I know Blend Swap, cool website. Yes, indeed. You make a theme by people voting. For example, you choose 3 menus and the best vote goes to theme. I've thought about doing something like that. We may try to do it at some point. But where can I comment it then? Because on YouTube, links get deleted. Plus, you can't comment it here because it's a live stream. You would comment it on, like, when this goes up as a video, or the next compilation. When the compilation comes up, that's the video you commented on. And it doesn't delete it. It goes into a spam folder, which is actually helpful to me because I get to see it separate from all the rest of the comments, and it will sit there until I get it, like until I can go through and get them. So it doesn't delete them. It's just you may not see it right away because I have to approve the comment first. Anxious, please help the Minecraft sound folder delete. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't really know why that was the case. Like the download that I linked in that tutorial, you do have the sounds in Minecraft. The folder is there and the sound files are there. The thing is they changed it so that it's this weird, like, what would you call it? Like a combination of letters and stuff. It's just a weird code that corresponds to the sound in the game. So you would have to go to a list of what those codes are and then find the folder and then be like, so this long weird code is that sound. That's kind of how they've done it now. And I don't know if anyone has went through and like renamed them and created a downloadable folder for it or not yet. But it is something I do intend to try and get back to try and do something with it that's helpful to people, but I haven't been able to do it yet. It was deleted due to copyright by Mojang. I don't really know why that would be the case. I mean, anything's possible. I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm just saying, like, Minecraft sounds are everywhere. People use it for all sorts of things, so it doesn't make sense for them to be like, oh, you made this copyright. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. If Mojang is on the hunt for people who are providing the sounds for download or whatever, then I don't know if anyone will really be able to do anything. The main thing you can do is something I looked into a while back, and I don't really remember everything about it. But the main thing you can do is you can find the folder. There are guides online to finding the folder that has a sound, but you just have to go through all this annoying work of like getting a list of the codes and what sound that is, and then finding that file in the folder. Yeah, there are people who do have the sounds on YouTube you can get them from. I don't really like that because it's like a process sound is then re-downloaded and stuff. I usually like to get the original sound effect, but if that's all you could do, that's all you could do. How's it going, Dead Ender? Craft Boy says, hey, Anxious, I haven't been able to join lately because I live in a different country now, but I will be joining back soon once I get a computer. Awesome. Gamers on videos, that's true. I agree with that, and that's pretty much how it has always been. But now that they've been bought by Microsoft, I wouldn't really be surprised if things are changing in the terms of how they enforce copyright. Creeper Slayer of Epic, how's it going? Codes, all I find is .off files. Do you mean OGG? Yeah, those are the sound files. They're just a weird file name. They don't have like, it's not like dog bark or anything like that. It's just a weird combination of letters and stuff. Assassin Pro Anxious, do you have a Minecraft server? Yeah, we've been doing some streams on it, but it's currently a private server. We don't have it opened up, but to a small select group of players, of active people on the channel and on the Discord. No problem, Animates MC. See you later. And with that, I think that's going to be it for me. This was pretty fun and interesting. Unfortunately, you know, the video is going to be like an hour long, and most people aren't going to be interested in seeing that. But what are you going to do? But it was fun to go over it with you guys and review them and get your opinions on all the submissions and whatnot. Hopefully, I'll have things in order next week, or we'll go back to the video format and stuff. So, yeah, that'd be pretty good. Boulder Jane says, what if I give you $15, will you open the server to peeps? Well, the thing is like, just like I was telling someone else on the stream, what was it, last night? It's a reoccurring bill. So, like, donating, like, unless we got a bunch of people just kind of one-time donating, on streams or whatever, then it's hard to maintain a big server without reoccurring money coming in to pay for it. So, it's one of those things, like, it's hard to tell without something being, like, confirmed going to be a reoccurring support. Anxious, your Blender tool didn't work, or for me, whenever I hit on a character, it closes. Yeah, some people have had issues with that. I'm not sure what the problem is. You can try uninstalling and reinstalling it and stuff like that, but I'm not sure what the bug is that causes that. I would definitely try Googling it to see if you can find a solution. Fidget Spinner, I don't know how to make those. Check the description. I explained it a little bit ago, so you can, once this goes up as a video, you can go back through it if you want and find the explanation once we get into the Minimator screen here, where I go over the rig that I made and everything else. But yeah. What is you do a game compilation where you can use the game character rigs or physics like Mario or something? Maybe. That might be something interesting worth doing. Vortex, it's not strictly donators right now. It's just like we need donations to help pay for the server so that we can open it up to more people. Obviously, for people who donate, they would get priority as to, slots that open up. But it's kind of like a thing of just trying to get money to pay for the server so that we can open it up to everybody, or a larger group of people at least. So that's kind of where we're at. Can you record Hypixel Skywars? I intend to try and get on Skywars again at some point. I mean, Hypixel. What'd I say? Hypixel or Skywars? Something. By the way, the thing at the end of my submission was the Earth. Oh, okay. I thought it was the facility, but it's the Earth. Okay. I get it now. Fairish24, I'm not interested in using Eternos. What about the theme after the fidget spinner being Windows Vista? That would be a horrible theme. Not because it's a bad idea for a theme, it's because it's Windows Vista. Alright, I gotta get going, guys. Again, thanks for watching, thanks for the support, thanks for supporting the channel and the compilation and whatnot. And if you enjoyed it, feel free to share the channel and the videos and whatnot with your friends and your families and your pets and all that good stuff. Tune in for more streams, if I can keep it up anyway. And whatnot. Legend MC, I am not, just like I said earlier. Anyway, alright, that's it, guys. Thanks for joining, and I will see you guys in the next stream. Again, I don't know what my plans are later. If nothing happens, I may be streaming later this evening. No guarantees, though, but if you want to be here for that, then, keep an eye on your subscription box or whatever it is you watch to see if I go live. Alright, that's it. I'll see you later. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, night, morning, evening, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and day and night and stuff, whatever it is for you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. All right? If I can talk. See you later.